Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about an advanced function of Nport, which is connection control. Connection control is a very important function when configuring Nport as TCP client mode. Users can determine the timing of establishing TCP connection through this function. After this course, you will be able to understand and use connection control. This is our course outline for today. What is connection control, configuring and test connection control, and a brief review of today's lesson. What is connection control? When Nport is configured as TCP client mode, it can decide when to establish a connection or disconnect from the host. Connection control helps to save resources because TCP server usually provides limited service. By using connection control, Nport can release the resource when it is in idle state and improves the efficiency of the network. Connection control function is only for TCP client mode. There are 7 options to trigger when to establish or disconnect the connection to the TCP server. You can see for the left side is the condition to establish TCP connection, and the right side is the condition to disconnect from TCP server. Now I'm going to introduce each option in detail about how Nport establishes the connection and disconnect from TCP server. First is startup and none. A TCP connection will be established on startup and will remain active indefinitely, which means after the Nport is powered on, it connects with host immediately and remains active until it's powered off. Startup none is suitable for the network that has no resource concerns. Nport will try to keep the connection to be established for all times and keep the communication channel available. Next is any character and none. A TCP connection will be established when any character is received from the serial interface and will remain active indefinitely. As you can see, Nport connects with the host after receiving data from the serial port. Next is any character and inactivity time. For this one, I will have 2 slides. First is the timing of establishing connection. A TCP connection will be established when any character is received from the serial interface. As you can see on the screen, that when there is data input, Nport will connect with host after receiving data. This one is about the disconnect timing of TCP connection. TCP connection will be disconnected when inactivity time is reached. For example, if you set inactivity time to 1 minute and there is no data from Ethernet side to Nport, Nport will disconnect the TCP connection with the host. And then Nport will reconnect with host when any data is received from the serial port again. A TCP connection will be established when a DSR signal is on and will remain active indefinitely. DSR on and DSR off. A TCP connection will be established when a DSR signal is on and will be disconnected when a DSR signal is off. You can see When Nport receives a DSR on, it will connect with host. And if it receives a DSR off, it will disconnect with the host. So if you are using DTR DSR as your active signal of serial device, you can choose this option. Next is DCD on and on. A TCP connection will be established when a DCD signal is on and will remain active indefinitely. That is to say, if Nport receives a DCD off, it will not disconnect the TCP connection. DCD on and DCD off. Nport will connect with host if it receives DCD on, and it will disconnect with host after waiting for DCD off. And it will reconnect with host if DCD is on again. Here I have a table of the behaviors of connection control options. There are a few things to be remembered in this table. For startup none, if the establishing of connection fails, Nport will always try to establish the connection when it's powered on. For others, once the trigger event occurs, Nport will try to establish the connection until it succeeds. If the TCP connection is broken due to host down or network problem, with startup none, Nport will try to reconnect again and again. But for the rest, Nport will stay disconnected until a trigger event occurs. Now we are going to do a hands-on of connection control. We'll do it with any character in activity time. This is my topology. I have a U-port plugged in my PC, and through Ethernet, I'm connecting to an Nport 6150. There are 4 steps. First, set connection control. Second, connect to PC. Then we'll do a communication test. And then we'll observe how Nport disconnects from PC. And remember to submit and restart when changing setting in web console. Step 1. Set connection control. In Nport's web console, find operation modes. Set the inactivity time to 30,000 milliseconds, which is 30 seconds here. And in connection control option, choose any character in activity time. Remember to set your operation mode to TCP client. Before you type anything in U-port's terminal, check connection status in Nport's web console. There is no connection established. Open a U-port COM port in PCOM. Remember to set the serial parameters same as the ones you set in Nport's web console. Open a TCP server window in PCOM. Enter the local port. Here we use 4001 as an example. Type any character from U-port to Nport serial port. You will see the status of our TCP server will become connected, and the characters will show up in the window. Now we check for connection status again, and we can see the connection is established. Step 3. Communication test. Type anything in both windows. You can see them in another one. Step 4. Nport disconnects from PC. Now we test the disconnect behavior. Leave the windows idle for 30 seconds and check again. You will see the IP address disappears, which means the connection has been disconnected. Alright, let's have a brief review of today's lesson. When Nport is configured as TCP client mode, connection control can help to decide when to establish or disconnect a connection with the host. Connection control helps to save resources on the network. There are 7 options of connection controls. If you want to do hands-on, please book a time of IDC Virtual Lab.
That's all for today's lesson. Thank you for listening.